All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol RKT, Rocket Companies Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So, Rocket Companies had a bearish run for some time since earnings, reaching the peak of $34 and some change. Super important number, and it reached lows here of about 1939, 1940. And it leveled off and it jumped up through the 50-day moving average, reaching highs here of close to $23. And as we zoom in, we're going to see it here at $23.16. Now, something important is that it quickly dipped. It started to recover, and I said, okay, wow. So it was just profit taking. There are some bulls here trying to jump back in. And then after that, it's just been leveled off, and now there's a sell-off. Now there's fear, uncertainty, and more profit taking going on. And the question is this going to be dominated by the bears hitting newer lows? Because now we're officially in bearish territory. The bulls needed to continue to maintain momentum to work further away from the 50-day moving average. And as I've said in many of my videos, if they just hang out sideways, by default, this will catch up to the price and make it easier for the bears to just tear right through it. And they certainly did that here in this day and what we're seeing here in the chart. So let's zoom in here and see what's important for tomorrow. So one important thing is our support level is working its way down to newer lows if this gets broken through, and our resistance level is super important because it's the first one before this dip and the first one in bullish territory that can confirm that the bulls have reached bullish territory again, and they can work their way up to newer highs. Now, our 50-day moving average is 2240. I'd write that down. Very important number. As long as that's not crossed, the bulls don't have any control, and the bears are dominating it. So once we're above it, bulls are in control. As long as we're below it, the bears are dominating the chart. As of right now, the bears are dominating this chart. So 2240 needs to be crossed by the bulls to get a recovery. Now, if the bulls are able to accomplish that, their next goal is the resistance level. And this resistance level is 2270. If that gets crossed, turn into a support, the bulls accomplished two things. They got back into bullish territory, crossing the 50-day moving average, and they crossed the first resistance level, confirming they're in bullish territory, turning it into support, and breaking through to hit newer highs, new resistance levels, and build momentum to stay in bullish territory, move further away from the 50-day moving average in a upward direction. Now, we're at 2183. We're a lot closer to the support level here, and the bears want to continue to bring this down. Their goal is to break through the first support level here. It's the lowest point reached in the last couple hours of the day, and that's 2143. If 2143 gets broken through, which is actually not that far away from the lowest point here of the sell-off and the recovery, which is 2136, that is going to show us that we need to pay very close attention to the behavior of this stock and how quickly is it getting closer to 2136, because if 2136 does get broken through, this will start to see newer lows and newer support levels. But before getting to 36, they need to break through 2143. 2136 is the next point to pay very close attention to, but 2143 is the first point. I'd pay very close attention to the behavior. How quickly is it moving to newer lows? And are the bulls even trying to reappear? Now, if the bulls reappear, that's just going to stop it from hitting newer lows fairly quickly. But the bulls need to come in hefty and strong to cross the 50-day moving average of 2240. That's their most important point for them to get back into bullish territory. But it's still important to pay close attention to the behavior at 2143. If it gets crossed, the support level here, to see how quickly is it moving to newer lows, and are the bears dominating the chart at that point, pulling it further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction, or are the bulls trying to reappear, stop it, and have a turnaround and build momentum to work their way up closer to the 50-day moving average? As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. But don't forget to click on the bell. By clicking on the bell, you can turn on all notifications to not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button and let me know you watch this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. Well, at the end of this video, that pop-up video, I actually go into deeper detail about the S&P 500 index, and I just want to break it down a little bit to you guys and see what it is that I want you guys to watch. I know I've been saying it in my last couple of videos. Check out the video, and you're like, well, what does that do for me? I'm just looking for the ticker symbol. I want to see the analysis and so forth. Well, this right here is great news for us as investors right now, present day. I know that the Federal Reserve pumps have an effect. A lot of analysis say that, and experts in the future. But right now, in the present, how can you continue to maximize profits? Well, it's been awesome to see the S&P 500 rise the way it has in such a great recovery due to the fact of these pumps. I'm not sure if that trickle effect is already starting to show that these pumps have had an effect where it can actually start going in the other direction, or if this is just due to the fact of the time of the year, people taking profits, the uncertainty that's coming up, or fear, or so forth, right? So that is something that I am already seeing how quickly this is actually fallen, but you can see as it's been falling down that these pumps still have an effect on the market by bringing it up several points, and we're going to go into that in just a moment into detail. But this has been rising up, and it was a great run. It hit highs, and from this point forward, it actually started to fall, and it became more turbulent. The volatility has always been there, but these pumps were actually supporting the market on rising up. But we're going to look at the pumps now because this is the state that we're in. We're not in that bullish run anymore. So I'm going to pull this up. These are some of the most recent pumps. This was released right back on the 14th of September, and the next release date is October 14th. So the first one was on the 15th, and we're going to look at that in just a second. The second one was on the 22nd. The third one was on the 29th, and the most recent and upcoming one to be the recent one is 10/6, October 6th. So we're going to look at those dates. So the 15th, this was September 14th. It slightly dipped, and it ended off around 33.83, and the next day was the 15th, and it rose up to 34.18. That right there is a rise of several points for the S&P 500 index. And again, 21st rising up, and we land on the 22nd. So the day pretty much ended and started here at 32.61, and the end of the run, because then comes the 23rd, the end of the run on the 22nd, which was the date of the next pump, it reached up to 33.21. So again, rose up several points. Now the anticipation here for the next pump and the week that was coming, the end of the week started really strong, started the week strong on Monday, and it started to dip on that Tuesday of the date of the pump. Well, guess what? The pump actually saved it from hitting newer lows and actually created momentum to continue to rise up because it hit 32.28, and before the day ended, it rose up to 33.49. This is actually one of the pumps that I've seen the pump do the least effect in rising it by several points, but I have seen the pump do this before, stop it from going in this direction and rising it back up, creating an attractiveness to the market to bring in obviously more investors, and obviously do this effect to bring it up. And then obviously the volatility of the market is normal to be seen like that. So we're anticipating the next one, but what I want to talk about is what does it mean for us as investors that these points of the index are rising up? Well, if the index of the S&P 500 is rising up several points, that means that it is rising up and there's 500 ticker symbols within it. Some of them, not all of them, are rising up with it. So individual ticker symbols are rising anywhere from 30 cents to up to $3, maybe even more. But I have seen ticker symbols rise on the dates of these rises and these points rising on the index. Individual ticker symbols rise 30 cents to $3 per share. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. It sounds like, oh, well, it's 30 cents. Oh, it's $3. I know it sounds small, but per share, it does add up. And I'm not saying that it guarantees you profits, but profits are profits. And I always say that in all of my videos, especially when I'm talking about this. And this is an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize your losses. I'm just encouraging you guys to check out the video. I go into more detail about it. I just wanted you guys to see with your own eyes the dates of the pumps and what it has done. And if we go back to previously reaching these highs and dipping, this pump of the scheduled dates was rising this up in an upward direction. I mean, here are some notes, and I also had notes here, but I deleted it because I didn't want those notes to go ahead and confuse people in the upcoming pump dates of over here. But something that I find interesting is, yes, on the dates of these pumps, the market was rising up to newer highs, reaching newer levels, and going up to the point that it hit these highs. But on the way down, on the dates that the market is rising several points, I mean, you do see it several times before, okay? That's good. But on the dates of the pumps, it's actually rising. It's actually rising. It's actually leveling off, rising, creating momentum to go to the next level. And it actually rose due to the fact of the anticipation of people knowing that there was probably an upcoming pump. So many investors know about this. A lot of people aren't speaking about it, or they're unaware of it. So I'm here to share with you guys that there's an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. Click on the video, check it out. I go into more detail about it. I hope you find it helpful and informative. And thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.